Have you ever wondered if there was something you could be eating right now that might be silently fighting cancer cells in your body? Something so simple yet powerful that it could potentially save your life or the life of someone you love. The fear of receiving that devastating diagnosis keeps many of us up at night, especially as we age. I understand that feeling of vulnerability all too well. When my father turned 70, we discovered he had stage 3 colon cancer that had been growing silently for years. The doctors told us that with some simple dietary changes, it might have been caught much earlier or even prevented. That moment changed everything for me. Today, I'm going to share the 5 most powerful cancer-fighting foods, specifically for seniors, that research has shown can help block what doctors call silent cancer, those malignancies that develop without obvious symptoms until they've advanced to dangerous stages. These aren't exotic superfoods that cost a fortune or taste terrible. These are delicious, affordable options that you can find at your local grocery store today. And the best part? The science behind them is absolutely fascinating. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which foods to add to your shopping list this week and how to incorporate them into your daily meals for maximum protection. This information could literally be life-saving, so please watch until the very end, because the 5th food might surprise you. It certainly surprised me during my research, and it's one that most doctors never mention to their patients. Hey there, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm so glad you found us. We're building a community of empowered seniors who believe that age is just a number when it comes to taking control of your health. Before we dive into these incredible cancer-blocking foods, I'd love to know where you're watching from today. Drop your city and state in the comments below, and if you have any questions as we go along, feel free to ask them there too. I read every single comment and try to respond to as many as I can. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and bell notification so you never miss our weekly videos packed with life-changing health information specifically for seniors. Trust me, your future self will thank you for it. Now, let's get to those 5 powerful foods that can help block silent cancer. But before I reveal the first one, I want to pause for a moment and ask you something important. How has cancer touched your life? Have you or someone you love faced this difficult diagnosis? Or are you perhaps worried about developing it because of family history? You know, one of the most isolating aspects of dealing with cancer, or even the fear of cancer, is feeling like nobody truly understands what you're going through. The sleepless nights, the anxiety every time you feel an unusual pain, the worry that steals joy from everyday moments. I want you to know that those feelings are completely valid, and you're definitely not alone in experiencing them. Millions of people share these exact same concerns, especially as they enter their senior years when cancer risk naturally increases. If you feel comfortable sharing, I'd love for you to copy this phrase into the comments. My cancer journey or concern is, and tell us a bit about your experience. Your words might be exactly what someone else needs to read today to feel less alone, and your experiences help me create more relevant content that addresses your specific concerns and questions. Remember, we're all in this together, and there's incredible strength in sharing our stories. Let's talk about the first powerhouse food that every senior should be eating to help block silent cancer: cruciferous vegetables, especially broccoli sprouts. Now I know what you might be thinking. Broccoli isn't exactly breaking news when it comes to healthy eating. But what many people, even healthcare professionals, don't fully appreciate is the remarkable power of broccoli sprouts specifically. These tiny, immature broccoli plants contain up to 100 times the amount of sulforaphane compared to mature broccoli. And sulforaphane is nothing short of miraculous when it comes to cancer prevention. Let me explain exactly how it works in your body. When you chew broccoli sprouts, you release an enzyme called myrosinase that converts glucoraphanin into sulforaphane. This sulforaphane then activates the NRF2 pathway in your cells, which is essentially your body's master regulator of antioxidant response. Think of it as flipping on a powerful defense switch that has been quietly waiting to be activated. When this pathway gets turned on, it triggers the production of over 200 protective proteins and antioxidant enzymes that detoxify cancer-causing compounds and protect your healthy cells. The science behind this is absolutely fascinating. A landmark study published in the Journal of Medicinal Chemistry found that sulforaphane can actually target and kill cancer stem cells, which are the cells responsible for tumor growth and metastasis. These cancer stem cells are often resistant to conventional treatments like chemotherapy, which is why cancers can sometimes return after treatment. But sulforaphane appears to have this unique ability to destroy these stubborn cells. In fact, researchers at Johns Hopkins University found that sulforaphane reduced the number and size of breast cancer stem cells by up to 80% in laboratory studies. But what does this mean specifically for seniors? As we age, our body's natural detoxification systems become less efficient, making us more vulnerable to cancer-causing toxins in our environment. Adding broccoli sprouts to your diet essentially gives these systems a powerful boost exactly when you need it most. And the best part? You don't need much to see benefits. Just 1 ounce of broccoli sprouts 3 to 4 times per week can provide meaningful protection. Have you ever noticed how some seniors in their 80s and 90s seem to remain vibrant and healthy while others struggle with multiple health conditions? Genetics plays a role, of course, but dietary choices like regularly consuming sulforaphane-rich foods can make a remarkable difference in how we age and our cancer risk. So how can you easily add broccoli sprouts to your diet? They're delicious on sandwiches, in salads, or blended into smoothies. If the taste is too strong for you, try mixing them with sweeter foods like berries in a smoothie. You can find broccoli sprouts in many grocery stores these days, but they can be expensive. A more economical option is to grow them yourself at home, which is surprisingly easy. You can buy broccoli seeds online, and within just 3 to 5 days of sprouting them in a jar on your kitchen counter, you'll have fresh sprouts ready to eat. One important note of caution: if you're taking blood-thinning medications, check with your doctor before dramatically increasing your intake of cruciferous vegetables, as they contain vitamin K, which can interfere with these medications. Also, if you have a thyroid condition, moderate your intake and make sure you're getting enough iodine in your diet, as large amounts of cruciferous vegetables can potentially affect thyroid function. But for most seniors, the cancer-fighting benefits far outweigh these manageable concerns. The second cancer-blocking food that deserves a permanent place on your plate is turmeric, or more specifically the curcumin it contains. This vibrant yellow spice has been used in traditional medicine for thousands of years, but only recently has modern science begun to understand just how powerful it truly is for cancer prevention. Curcumin, the active compound in turmeric, is arguably one of the most studied natural compounds for cancer prevention and treatment, with over 15,000 published studies examining its effects. What makes curcumin so special is its remarkable ability to fight cancer on multiple fronts simultaneously. First, it's a potent anti-inflammatory agent. This is crucial because chronic inflammation is now recognized as a key driver in the development of most cancers. As we age, our bodies naturally produce more inflammatory compounds, creating an internal environment where cancer cells can thrive. Curcumin helps counteract this age-related inflammation. Second, curcumin directly interferes with multiple stages of cancer development. It can prevent the transformation of normal cells into cancer cells, inhibit the proliferation of existing cancer cells, and even induce apoptosis, which is essentially programmed cell death in cancer cells. It's like having a targeted smart bomb that somehow knows to destroy only the dangerous cells while leaving healthy cells untouched. The research supporting curcumin's cancer-fighting effects is truly impressive. A 2018 review published in the International Journal of Molecular Sciences analyzed dozens of studies and concluded that curcumin effectively targets multiple cancer types, including those that are particularly common in seniors like colon, prostate, breast, and lung cancers. One particularly fascinating study, conducted at the University of California, Los Angeles, showed that curcumin could inhibit the growth of brain cancer cells by 80% in laboratory tests. And in a small clinical trial involving 21 patients with advanced pancreatic cancer, those who received curcumin showed significant tumor regression. But here's something many people don't realize about turmeric. Simply sprinkling the powder on your food provides very little benefit because curcumin is poorly absorbed by the body on its own. To truly harness its cancer-fighting potential, you need to know how to enhance its bioavailability. The most effective way to do this is to combine turmeric with black pepper. Black pepper contains piperine, a compound that can increase curcumin absorption by up to 2,000%. Another excellent method is to consume turmeric with some form of healthy fat, as curcumin is fat-soluble. This could be as simple as mixing it into olive oil for a salad dressing or cooking it in coconut oil. For seniors looking to maximize the cancer-preventive benefits of curcumin, I recommend consuming about a half teaspoon of turmeric with a pinch of black pepper daily. This can easily be added to scrambled eggs, soups, stews, or even a warm cup of golden milk tea. Delicious drink made with turmeric, black pepper, and your choice of milk. Some people prefer to take curcumin supplements, which can provide higher doses than food alone. If you go this route, look for formulations that include piperine or other absorption enhancers like liposomal curcumin. A typical recommended dosage is 500–1,000 milliliters of curcumin per day. As with any supplement, there are some precautions to be aware of. Curcumin can act as a blood thinner, so if you're already taking blood-thinning medications or have surgery scheduled, consult with your healthcare provider first. It may also interact with certain medications, including some types of chemotherapy drugs, so disclosure to your doctor is important. Additionally, in rare cases, some people might experience digestive discomfort from high doses. Start with smaller amounts and gradually increase to assess your tolerance. Have you ever considered how our ancestors often had lower rates of certain cancers despite lacking modern medical care? Traditional diets rich in natural anti-inflammatory compounds like curcumin likely played a significant role. By returning to some of these time-tested foods, we're rediscovering powerful tools for cancer prevention that complement our modern medical approaches. Our third cancer-fighting superfood is one that may already be part of your daily routine: green tea. But what you might not know is that this simple beverage contains compounds that have been shown to help prevent numerous types of cancer, particularly those that affect seniors most frequently. The magic ingredients in green tea are catechins, a type of antioxidant, with the most powerful being epigallocatechin gallate, or EGCG. This remarkable compound has been studied extensively for its cancer-fighting properties, and the results are nothing short of impressive. When you drink green tea, EGCG works its way through your bloodstream and into your cells, where it performs several critical cancer-blocking functions. First, it acts as a powerful antioxidant, neutralizing harmful free radicals that can damage DNA and potentially trigger the development of cancer cells. As we age, our bodies produce more free radicals while simultaneously becoming less efficient at neutralizing them, making this antioxidant protection especially valuable for seniors. Beyond its antioxidant effects, EGCG has demonstrated the ability to directly suppress tumor growth by preventing angiogenesis, the formation of new blood vessels that feed tumors. Without this blood supply, cancerous growths are essentially starved of the nutrients they need to expand. Additionally, EGCG appears to reactivate genes that suppress cancer development, genes that are often switched off in the early stages of cancer formation. The evidence supporting green tea's cancer preventive effects is substantial. A meta-analysis published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition reviewed 13 studies involving over 100,000 participants and found that women who drank the most green tea had a 20–30% lower risk of developing breast cancer compared to those who drank little to none. Similarly, a large-scale study in China found that men who drank green tea regularly had a 48% lower risk of developing prostate cancer than non-drinkers. What's particularly relevant for seniors is green tea's apparent ability to help prevent the types of cancer that become more common with age. Multiple studies have found associations between green tea consumption and reduced risk of colorectal cancer, which increases significantly after age 50. Research published in the journal Cancer Causes and Control found that people who drank at least 3 cups of green tea daily had a 17% lower risk of colorectal cancer compared to non-drinkers. So how much green tea should seniors drink to help block silent cancer? Research suggests that 3 to 5 cups daily provides optimal benefits. That might sound like a lot, but you can space it throughout the day, perhaps a cup in the morning, one at lunch, and another in the afternoon. If you find the taste of green tea too bitter, try brewing it at a slightly lower temperature, around 175 degrees Celsius instead of boiling, and steeping for just 1 to 2 minutes. Adding a touch of honey or lemon can also make it more palatable without diminishing its health benefits. For those who don't enjoy drinking tea, green tea extract supplements are available. However, I generally recommend the beverage form over supplements for several reasons. First, the act of sipping tea throughout the day provides a steady stream of catechins in your system. Second, whole foods and beverages typically contain cofactors that may enhance absorption and effectiveness. Third, there have been rare but concerning reports of liver damage associated with concentrated green tea extracts, particularly when taken on an empty stomach. If you do opt for supplements, choose those standardized to contain at least 40% EGCG, take them with food, and never exceed the recommended dosage. Are there any concerns seniors should be aware of when adding green tea to their diet? The main consideration is its caffeine content, though green tea contains significantly less caffeine than coffee. If you're sensitive to caffeine or have certain heart conditions, you might want to limit consumption to earlier in the day or opt for decaffeinated green tea, which still contains beneficial catechins, though in somewhat lower amounts. Additionally, like broccoli sprouts, green tea contains small amounts of vitamin K, which could potentially interact with blood-thinning medications like warfarin. If you're on such medications, consult with your healthcare provider before significantly increasing your green tea intake. Have you ever wondered why the rates of certain cancers are so much lower in countries like Japan, where green tea consumption is highest in the world? The average person in Japan consumes about 3 cups of green tea daily throughout their life. This long-term, consistent exposure to cancer-fighting catechins may be one of the reasons why Japanese seniors enjoy some of the lowest cancer rates and highest life expectancies in the world. It's never too late to start reaping these benefits, even if you're already in your 60s, 70s, or beyond. I'm going to pause here for a moment because I want to ask you something important. Which of these cancer-fighting foods have you already incorporated into your diet, and which ones are new to you? I'm curious to know what your biggest challenge is when it comes to eating healthy as you age. Is it the cost of healthy foods, difficulty with meal preparation, not knowing exactly what to eat, or perhaps it's navigating contradictory nutrition advice that seems to change every few years? You know, one of the most challenging aspects of aging is feeling like your body is becoming less reliable, less predictable. Maybe you've noticed changes in your energy, your digestion, or your overall health that concern you. Perhaps you worry about becoming a burden to your loved ones if your health deteriorates. These concerns are completely natural, and you're definitely not alone in having them. Millions of seniors share these same worries, which is why taking proactive steps with your nutrition is so empowering. If you feel comfortable, I'd love for you to copy this phrase in the comments. My biggest nutrition challenges, and share your experience. Your insights not only help me create more relevant content for this community, but they might also resonate with others facing similar challenges. When we share our struggles and solutions, we create a supportive network that makes the journey easier for everyone. Remember, it's never too late to make positive changes to your health through nutrition, and every small step counts. Now, let's move on to our 4th cancer-fighting food that seniors should be eating regularly: fatty fish, rich in omega-3s such as wild-caught salmon, sardines, and mackerel. These fish are exceptional sources of 2 specific types of omega-3 fatty acids: EPA, eicosapentaenoic acid, and DHA, docosahexaenoic acid, which have demonstrated remarkable anti-cancer properties. The mechanism by which omega-3 fatty acids help prevent cancer is multifaceted and particularly relevant to the aging process. First, these healthy fats help reduce chronic inflammation, which, as I mentioned earlier, is a key driver of cancer development and becomes more prevalent as we age. Omega-3s accomplish this by producing compounds called resolvins and protectins that actively work to resolve inflammatory processes in the body. Beyond their anti-inflammatory effects, omega-3 fatty acids appear to directly influence cell growth and replication. Research has shown that they can help maintain the integrity of cell membranes, improve cell-to-cell communication, and even influence gene expression in ways that may prevent the transformation of normal cells into cancerous ones. Perhaps most impressively, omega-3s have been shown to enhance the body's natural process of removing damaged cells before they can become cancerous. This process, called autophagy, tends to become less efficient with age, making the supportive role of omega-3s particularly valuable for seniors. The scientific evidence supporting fish consumption for cancer prevention is compelling. A large meta-analysis published in the British Journal of Cancer examined data from over 800,000 participants and found that regular fish consumption was associated with a 12% reduction in colorectal cancer risk. Another major study, published in the American Journal of Epidemiology, found that women who regularly consumed fatty fish had a 26% lower risk of breast cancer compared to those who rarely ate fish. For men, the news is equally encouraging. Research published in The Lancet found that higher blood levels of omega-3 fatty acids were associated with a 43% reduced risk of developing prostate cancer. This is particularly significant given that prostate cancer is the most common cancer affecting men over 65. But it's not just about preventing cancer. Omega-3s may also play a role in preventing cancer recurrence. A study published in JAMA found that patients who had been treated for colorectal cancer and consumed higher amounts of omega-3 fatty acids had a 41% lower risk of the cancer returning compared to those with lower intake. 4A. Seniors looking to leverage the cancer protective benefits of omega-3s, I recommend consuming fatty fish at least twice a week. A typical serving is about 4 ounces, roughly the size of a deck of cards. Wild-caught sources are preferable when possible, as they typically contain higher levels of omega-3s and fewer contaminants than farm-raised alternatives. If you're not a fan of fish or find it difficult to prepare, there are other options. High-quality fish oil supplements can provide concentrated doses of EPA and DHA. Look for products that have been molecularly distilled to remove potential contaminants like mercury and PCBs. A typical recommended dose is 1,000 to 2,000 mg of combined EPA and DHA daily. For vegetarians, or those who avoid fish products entirely, algae-based omega-3 supplements are now available, providing DHA derived from the same source that fish originally get it from marine algae. However, these typically contain less EPA than fish oil. Are there any precautions seniors should be aware of when increasing omega-3 intake? Like several of our cancer-fighting foods, omega-3s can have mild blood-thinning effects, which may be a consideration if you're taking anticoagulant medications or planning for surgery. Additionally, very high doses of fish oil, above 3,000 mg daily, may suppress immune function in some individuals. As always, it's wise to discuss significant dietary changes with your healthcare provider, especially if you have existing health conditions or take medications. Do you remember how doctors used to recommend avoiding fatty foods of all kinds? We now know this was an oversimplification. The type of fat matters tremendously, and healthy fats like omega-3s are absolutely essential for optimal health, especially as we age. In fact, inadequate omega-3 intake may be one of the most common nutritional deficiencies among seniors in America, with potentially serious consequences for cancer risk and overall health. Our fifth and final cancer-fighting food might surprise you: mushrooms, particularly varieties like shiitake, maitake, and reishi. These humble fungi have been used medicinally for thousands of years in traditional Eastern medicine, but modern science is now confirming their remarkable anti-cancer properties. What makes mushrooms such powerful allies against cancer, especially for seniors? The answer lies in their unique compounds, particularly beta-glucans and ergothioneine. Beta-glucans are complex sugars found in the cell walls of mushrooms that have been shown to enhance immune function in ways specifically relevant to cancer prevention. They activate various components of your immune system, including natural killer cells and macrophages, which can recognize and destroy cancer cells before they form tumors. This immune-boosting effect becomes increasingly important as we age, since immune function naturally declines over time, potentially allowing cancer cells to escape detection. Ergothioneine, meanwhile, is a powerful antioxidant that mushrooms contain in abundance. What's fascinating about ergothioneine is that our bodies have specific transporters designed just for this compound, suggesting its fundamental importance to human health. These transporters are concentrated in areas with high oxidative stress, and they actually increase in number as we age, perhaps as a protective mechanism. Researchers believe this may be the body's way of trying to compensate for age-related oxidative damage, which can lead to DNA mutations and cancer. The research supporting mushrooms' cancer preventive effects is impressive and growing rapidly. A major meta-analysis published in Advances in Nutrition reviewed 17 cancer studies and found that people who consume just 18 grams of mushrooms daily, about 1/4 cup, had a 45% lower risk of cancer compared to those who rarely or never ate mushrooms. The protective effect was particularly strong for breast cancer. Another groundbreaking study conducted at Pennsylvania State University found that mushrooms are the highest dietary source of two critical antioxidants, ergothioneine and glutathione. The researchers concluded that mushrooms may be the single most important food for preventing age-related oxidative stress, and by extension the cancers that can result from it. What's particularly exciting for seniors is that different varieties of mushrooms appear to target different types of cancer. For instance, shiitake mushrooms contain lentinan, which has shown promise against gastric cancer, while turkey tail mushrooms contain a compound called PSK that has been used as a standard anti-cancer treatment in Japan for decades, particularly for colorectal, stomach, and esophageal cancers. So how can seniors incorporate more mushrooms into their diet? I recommend consuming a variety of mushrooms several times a week. They're incredibly versatile and can be added to soups, stir-fries, omelets, or simply sautéed as a side dish. For those who don't enjoy the taste or texture of mushrooms, extracts and supplements are available. Look for those standardized to contain beta-glucans and follow the manufacturer's recommended dosage. If harvesting wild mushrooms appeals to you, please exercise extreme caution. Many wild mushrooms are toxic and some are deadly. It's best to learn from experienced foragers or stick to commercially grown varieties unless you have extensive knowledge. Are there any concerns seniors should be aware of when adding mushrooms to their diet? Generally, edible mushrooms are safe for most people. However, some individuals may be allergic. If you've never eaten certain varieties before, start with a small amount. Additionally, raw mushrooms contain small amounts of potential carcinogens called hydrazines, but these are destroyed by cooking, so always cook your mushrooms thoroughly. If you have certain autoimmune conditions, consult with your healthcare provider before taking concentrated mushroom supplements, as their immune-stimulating effects could potentially exacerbate your condition. Have you noticed how many of the longest-lived populations around the world regularly consume mushrooms? In Okinawa, Japan, home to some of the world's most vibrant centenarians, mushrooms are a dietary staple. Similarly, in certain regions of China where mushrooms are consumed daily, cancer rates are significantly lower than in Western countries. This isn't coincidental. These traditional diets, developed over thousands of years of cultural wisdom, seem to intuitively include the very foods modern science is now proving to be most protective against cancer. Now that we've covered all 5 cancer-fighting foods, let's talk about how to practically incorporate them into your daily routine. One approach I highly recommend is creating what I call a cancer-fighting power bowl. Start with a base of dark leafy greens, add some cooked broccoli sprouts, top with sautéed mushrooms and a piece of wild-caught salmon, and finish with a dressing made from olive oil, turmeric, black pepper, and lemon juice. Serve with a cup of green tea, and you've just consumed all 5 cancer-fighting foods in a single meal. Another simple strategy is to batch prepare these foods at the beginning of the week. Grow a jar of broccoli sprouts on your counter, brew a large container of green tea to keep in your refrigerator. You can reheat cups as needed. Cook a large piece of salmon and mushrooms to use in various meals throughout the week, and mix up a turmeric black pepper blend to sprinkle on foods daily. Remember, consistency is key when it comes to cancer prevention. The occasional consumption of these foods won't provide much protection. It's the regular daily incorporation of these foods over months and years that offers the greatest benefit. Think of it as making small deposits into your health savings account. These small daily actions compound over, seeing time into significant protection against cancer. And here's something I find truly inspiring. It's never too late to start. Research has shown that positive dietary changes can provide cancer protective benefits at any age. Even if you're in your 70s, 80s, or beyond, your body remains responsive to these powerful foods. Every single meal is an opportunity to influence your cells toward health and resilience. Thank you so much for staying with me until the end of this video. Today, we've explored 5 powerful foods that research has shown can help seniors block silent cancer. Broccoli sprouts, turmeric with black pepper, green tea, fatty fish rich in omega-3s, and various mushroom varieties. Remember, the goal isn't to completely overhaul your diet overnight or to create stress around eating that can be counterproductive. Instead, think about gradually incorporating these foods into your existing meals in ways that are enjoyable and sustainable for you. Every single addition makes a difference. If you found this information helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with someone you care about who might benefit from this knowledge. Cancer remains one of our greatest health challenges as we age, but through simple, intentional food choices, we can significantly reduce our risk and improve our chances of living a long, healthy, and vibrant life. And if you haven't already, I invite you to join our community by subscribing to this channel. We're on a mission to empower seniors with evidence-based information that cuts through the confusion and helps you make confident decisions about your health. Next week, we'll be discussing the early warning signs of cancer that are often overlooked, especially in seniors, so you definitely won't want to miss that. Remember, knowledge is power, particularly when it comes to your health. You deserve to thrive in your golden years, and making informed choices about what you eat is one of the most powerful ways to protect yourself against cancer and other age-related diseases. Thank you for being here today. I truly believe that together we can redefine what aging looks like and create a future where seniors don't just survive, they thrive. See you in the next video.